A very warm welcome to everyone who's joining us in Kenya, in the diaspora. Thank you so much for giving us yet another opportunity to engage with you. For those who don't know me, my name is Martha Inyuma. I'm the host of F.I.R.E Diaspora. And today we have a guest with us in studio.
Yeah, my name is Allan Murachia. I'm a TSAVORITE as well. So, well, I've invested in Savo Roy Sambu. I believe it's Savo.
Royal Suburbs.
Royal Suburbs, yeah. So, I'm a TSAVORITE as an investor, and yeah.
You're happy to be here?
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Allan, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
For those who know about Savo, we call ourselves TSAVORITE. So, or we as the internal TSAVORITE. So Allan is one of us, and his investment journey, and just knowing how the experience has been so far in Savo and externally. Of course, we're live on all our social media handles at savo.ke, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. Please do share your comments. I can see very many people have joined us already. Let us know what you're expecting today. Let us know, where you're watching us from. Yeah, how is the evening coming along? I think today is a very cold day, but we hope that we can make it a bit warm, hata kama anakunywa maji. We can try and make it a bit warm. Yeah, but without further ado, let me start with a word of prayer. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, I want to thank you for this day. I want to thank you for the gift of life, for giving us yet another opportunity, O Lord, to serve your people, O my Father. How I pray that whatever knowledge you may share today, that it may be beneficial to each and every person that may fall upon this message, O Lord. That everyone who will be able to engage with us today, O Lord, that they may find their purpose, they may be able to start their investment journey, or they may also feel encouraged to keep on with the investment journey. We thank you for Savo, we thank you for our TSAVORITEs, and we ask of you, O Lord, to guide us in this discussion. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, I do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Amen. So thank you so much. Let me just start with the comments. I can see on YouTube we have Amor Tamanda logged in. I can see a maker clock to show us, yes, we are starting today from 6 to 7 p.m. Kenyan time. Please kindly get your friends and family to join us today. We have Kilemi Isaac. He's on fire. He's putting the fire symbols. I can see Irene Gitao, future investor in the house. Thank you so much, Irene. I can see Beatrice. I'm anxiously waiting to tune in with both phones. Thank you so much, Beatrice. I can see Wamboy, she's saying waiting. Moses Kim, he's saying waiting. I can see Viola Natalie tuned in from the 254. Thank you so much. Let us know where you're watching us from. I can see Keta Diambo, she's saying she's waiting. Faith Mai locked in. Thank you so much. I can see Kevin Agai. I can't wait for this session. Financial independence is the destination. Thank you so much, Kevin. I can see Sam is on fire. Evans Okumu is also on fire. I can see Beatrice, she's saying, you guys look great. Thank you so much. Kindly feel free to share your comments. Let us know where you're watching us from. Let us know your expectations of today. As I've said, we're live on all our social media handles on YouTube at savo.ke. We are also live on Instagram at savo.ke. I can see very many people have joined. Please do share your comments on Instagram. I can see people saying waiting. They have joined. Thank you so much. On Facebook, I can see Samuel Nalusiri. I hope I've said your name right. Savo is the future. Thank you so much. So I think today the topic, of course, we have Allan, who is a TSAVORITE. And I think our purpose of today is to actually have someone who's in the investment journey, in the financial independence journey, to just share his experience with us and to bring it very close to home, literally getting someone who is towards financial independence and is going through the challenges and the fruits that you get while, towards your journey towards financial independence. And yeah, I think I would just want to hear, what are your expectations of today?
Thank you very much for having me here. So my expectation for today is I'd like to inspire, from my experience, I'd like to inspire new investors. I'd also like to learn a bit more myself from other investors who've been there before myself. So yeah.
So I think when just looking at the situation we are in, you're a diaspora
yeah.
investor. I would just want to understand what made you start investing. What was the motivation behind your investments?
I've always wanted to supplement my income, become financially independent. So I've invested before in real estate. I've also invested before in some other industries, motor trade industry, but for me, the real estate industry, it's really attracted me in the sense that you retain the value of whatever you invest in, so long as you do everything properly. Because obviously there are lots of risks out there. There's fraudsters out there, but with SAVO, obviously, there's a lot of integrity and credibility. So it's all about, mostly it's all about retaining that value when I put in my investment.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, of course, as you mentioned, being aware that there are risks out there,
Yeah.
how do you mitigate the risk? Because I believe you've done more than SAVO. So how do you end up choosing an investment and actually saying, this ticks the box for me?
It's not as easy as just saying it. The environment out here is very, it's difficult. But with SAVO, obviously, I've met people who have been very transparent with myself. So from the get-go, from the moment I decided to invest, I felt like you guys have been so transparent, and with our interaction, you guys have always been at hand to support me, to respond to my queries, despite the distance. I've been communicating with you and some other staff members around here. So I feel like that has given me confidence and motivation as well to believe that this is a good project. The other thing also is I've looked at the other projects you guys have done before, so that also boosts your motivation as well. You want to see something that's already been completed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And before SAVO, how was it like? Like, what made you just decide, okay, I want to supplement my cash, and this is where I want to start?
Before SAVO, like I said, I've tried other investments, and I've tried motor trade industry. I've shipped cars, but yeah, it depends on, the risks are quite high, but I think I decided on real estate. I've done real estate before SAVO, but I've done it as an individual. Yeah, because there's a trust issue out there, which is very, there's lots of risks out there, and to do things whilst you're not in this country, it's quite challenging.
Yeah. I can even see on Instagram we have Juliet asking, hey Alan, looking great. What made you trust SAVO despite this? There being a lot of real estate companies that have been in the game way before SAVO. And speaking of, you've done real estate before. How was that experience? Just thinking about it before SAVO and even after SAVO.
First of all, obviously, I was introduced to SAVO by a very nice man. I refer to him as my father, Mr. Sid, so it's more like my father. Yeah, so he brought me to SAVO, and he explained everything to me. And I met you, I believe, I remember. Yes. And you also put me through how you conduct business around here. You actually took me to the site yourself in person. So that actually made me really see that this thing it's actually, just being there physically, you can see a project is almost halfway, and I'm investing into a project that's half built. So that really motivated me as well as communication. You guys, I'm always able to communicate with you, and the payment methods, they're also so they're so efficient in the sense that I think recently, you make payments through automated payments and you get an automatic receipt. So those are the kind of things which really I'm used to. So really, it encourages me. Yeah.
And I think when you're talking of people in the diaspora, of course, there are very many, negative messages or communication that come from Kenya and also from guys in the diaspora, just from the experiences people have had and how people have lost their money and, they've burnt their fingers, even through their relatives, yeah? But why then invest back in Kenya, even after all that, everything that has been happening in the diaspora space?
At the end of the day, you have to take a risk somewhere. You just have to make sure you do your proper research, as an individual, or if you want to use other people, you just have to make sure you do your own research. For me, I'm really motivated into investing in Kenya. Like I said prior to this point, I believe that I want to have that to supplement my income, to have that financial independence. So you just have to do your own research, due diligence. Personally, I have my own ways of doing it. I go through a few people, I'll call lawyers and stuff, and I'll also, like I said earlier on, my interaction with you guys, it took a while, but you guys really proved to me that these projects are actually, things are legit, and the process has been made very easy whilst I've been away. If I have any concerns or queries, I can easily reach out to you and you respond to me immediately.
Yes. Maybe I can just engage a few people. I can see comments are coming in. Please do share your comments. We're live on all our social media handles at savo.ke on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Today we're talking about, just Allan's experience on investing, investing in Kenya. And apart from investing with Savo, just generally his journey towards financial independence. And I really hope that this can be impactful towards your journey towards financial independence and just give you hope that actually something to do with financial independence is possible. On YouTube, I can see Natalie, she's saying, I second Allan. Integrity is a big deal when it comes to investments. And when you find an investment that you can trust, why not? That's very true. And I think just being in the diaspora and thinking, especially this season of COVID, so you can travel back into the country or you can't access things as easily as possible. I think integrity really matters. And I don't know, for you, how would you judge integrity? How would you know that these are people of integrity? And what is integrity to you, I think? What is integrity to you?
Just being able to gain trust in the organization as a whole. I think when I joined Savo, I was introduced to different departments, including your lawyers as well, and they were able to explain everything, send me documents via email, and I'm talking about sufficient documents which were able to really encourage me, for me, showing me the whole process from starting to finishing the purchase of the apartments, so I feel like you provided me with sufficient information to be able to gain that trust. Yeah.
So I can see on Facebook, Martha is saying, thank you so much, Martha. Savo has a promise to a better future. Thank you so much. I can see Jerry Kenya, he's actually even going through directly. He's one of our investors in the diaspora. And I think, in fact, talking of integrity, I think I have never actually met Jeru. That's how deep being a diaspora person is. You can actually invest and not even be able to, be here early enough. And he's saying very good talk. Thank you so much, Jeru. I can see Kevin, he's saying about due diligence. I believe that there are documents that were probably shared with Allan to enable him do his search on the same. Kindly tell us the documents that was availed to you.
So I remember the lawyer sent me the payment, is it called?
The payment schedule. Yeah.
I also received the thing for the building.
The plan?
Title.
The title?
Yeah, so that one as well. There was also, it's quite a while back actually. So to be very honest, it's all in my email though.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And with regards to due diligence, myself, I did hire a lawyer on the side to follow up, to do a search for me, and everything came back proper. So
Yeah. I think when you're talking of the due diligence, maybe I can just add on to what Kevin is asking and what you've said.
Yeah.
We try to make it as transparent as possible. So of course, if you have a lawyer, the better, because they can now perform the search to you. I think that's why it's not even top of mind, because you had someone who sorted that out.
Yeah.
But our lawyers openly provide the due diligence documents. So here we're talking of the title, we're talking of the plan, we're talking of approvals. So just to see, is this building actually legally being constructed? Is it on the right property? Is the piece of land clean, and things like that. And so as you're coming in as an investor, those are some of the things that you'll receive. And of course now your agreement for sale, which we allow you to review. Yes. I can see Irene is saying, Allan, we investors in the diaspora are a bit skeptical about investing in off-plan projects back home. How did you keep the faith despite seeing the actual project? Despite not seeing the actual project.
Actually, for myself, I was able to see the project because I visited the country then, and that's how I came to meet you, and I was introduced to TSAVO. So I was here physically, I was able to see the project, and it was already ongoing at the time. I think it was almost halfway.
Yeah.
So for me, that really encouraged me, just being able to be there physically and seeing that the project is ongoing.
Yeah. I think maybe because I've seen one of our investors who's live, Njeru, maybe you can share with us, because Njeru came in quite late. By the time he invested and the time he was coming to site, the wife came to site, was quite late into the project. So if it was about burning fingers, so maybe you can just share with us, how was that experience? How did you gain faith? I can see on Instagram we have Faith Chebet. She's saying, thank you so much for joining us. She's saying, what makes TSAVO have a cutting edge over other competitors? Maybe you can tell us as one of our investors.
If I'm really honest, I don't think I have the confidence to invest elsewhere based on my experiences prior to this. Not that I've been banned, but I've been close to that point. But with TSAVO, I believe what really sets them separate from other competitors is that if you require anything from them, they will always be at hand to provide it. They will not beat about, and they're always flexible as well. So if you have any concerns or anything, just ring them up, send them an email. They'll always respond to you. And I think that's just a few of the things. I have a long list actually, but just a few.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Faith. I can see Juliet this is great. I think being able to do your due diligence on the properly and having a company that helps you in the process openly is really amazing. Keep up the transparency, TSAVO. I can see again, Faith Chebet, I have been wanting to invest in buying a house. What assurance will be given to, I think, as a buyer, because there are so many competitors who have been in the industry but have failed. Yeah, would you want to answer that?
Is that not the same question?
I think it's more or less the same question. But I think if you've done proper due diligence and you actually understand what you're getting yourself into, by understanding meaning you've seen the risk, you have actually gone through the risk and seen this is something that I can handle, because we wouldn't say it's zero risk here. Yeah? You just try to minimize the risk as much as possible. So you do proper due diligence. You pick the company that you pick a company. You understand their business model. You understand, even you get to see who has bought in the company, or if you've been referred, it's even better. Yeah. You get to see who has bought in the company. Try to understand their story. How has the experience been? Do these people even have an office? I think that's
that's one of that's sort of my early concerns.
Yeah.
And I think I spoke to you about it, and I asked you where was the physical office. And eventually you told me you guys had moved to Coral Bells. Yeah. Which obviously is in one of your projects. So so I was able to come to Coral Bells, meet you guys, and conduct business from the north.
Yes. So you've seen the office, you've seen what these people have done before. I think the past historic projects. I think it's important to just see what have these people done. who are these people behind the projects? Who are the developers? Yeah, what industry are they in? Yeah, and so with just proper due diligence and back search, you'll be able to get to a point where you've really minimized the risk, you've understood what you're getting yourself into, you've also seen the bigger picture and know what is your return on investment, then you can go ahead and buy. I can see on YouTube we have a number of comments coming in. I can see Bernice, she's saying, do you have the lawyer on the side info to share?
If someone wants to go through my lawyer, well, you can get in touch with me, and I can avail you that information.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can always avail that information.
Okay.
To you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So he'll be able to share any information if you'd want anything to do with his lawyer.
Martha can provide.
Yes, I can provide. I can provide the information. We also have independent lawyers who represent TSAVO and represent all our clients. So yeah, you can make that decision. I can see Martin. He's saying the sound by the guy is not clear. Naona passes out. Yeah. Sorry about that. We'll try to make it better. So how has your experience been so far? I think with TSAVO and generally, from going from motor cars to coming into real estate.
My experience has been quite. It's been a journey. I think I've been with TSAVO for about a year and a half now, or just thereabout. And it's been smooth, I must say. Initially, obviously, every investor does have their own doubts, but just after the first few months, once everything has been set out clearly and documents have been provided and everything, so lawyers of TSAVO have actually set out everything clearly to you. I think from that point onwards, things have been much more smooth for me.
Yeah.
I think during the COVID period, there's been a bit of a struggle at times, but still, guys at TSAVO are always at hand to be able to assist you. So whether it's flexibility or whatever, so you guys have always been there to be able to support. So that's some of the things. That's a few of the things I would say has really been made my journey quite easier.
Yeah. Please keep your comments coming. Let us know what have you invested in? How has your experience been? What have you when did you invest and why did you invest? Please share with us your experiences. Ask questions that you feel you would want to know more about investing and even investing in TSAVO. I think when you're talking of experiences, I wouldn't say that everything is in a perfect line. Not. Yeah. What are some of the bad experiences you've had? It could be out of TSAVO, but what are some of the bad experiences you've had as an investor generally, whether in the real estate, whether in the real estate industry or outside the real estate?
Well, I've been placed before, so not a lot of money, but I've been placed before, where I bought property, and then obviously the organization went on to become very big, and so the next batch of people who came on to invest into the new projects, they were buying into some of the projects did not even have a mother title deed, so the title deeds were being held by the bank, which obviously means that the company had already taken out a loan, a huge loan, but these guys had already finished paying. I was almost going into this project myself, and I decided not to. So yes, these are some of the things. Obviously, I had to make sure that I've done my proper checks in the beginning before investing. Yeah, so just to clear any doubts or concerns. So
you've never even been approached by those pyramid schemes?
I have. I'm a very skeptical person when it comes to. I'll not just invest anywhere. Trust me. I will not. It's very difficult. So for me to be able to even invest in TSAVO, it took a lot of convincing.
Yeah. Okay, I think when you're talking of investment and just not focusing on just the bigger picture, I think here in Kenya, credibility is actually a big issue, and integrity. And I remember when I just finished school, there was a company that was being formed, and they were telling people, you can get quick money I think everyone knows this story. Anyone who's stayed in Kenya long enough has been approached by someone like this. So they tell you, you bring X amount of money. So say, for example, you bring 10,000, and then you bring a person. So the person you bring, you earn from them. Then the next person you bring, the next person they bring. So it's like a pyramid scheme that you end up getting very hurt. But as in just looking at it from that picture, if someone can actually get to as little as 200 to actually get to you, you know, to get to, sorry, quote unquote, con you. Yeah, I think integrity is a very huge. It's a very huge bit when it comes to investment. I can see Sam is asking, why did you choose real estate?
I've stated before, real estate for me, I believe, personally, with Savo, I chose Savo because they mainly do apartments. So I'm a firm believer in short stay lettings. They're quite profitable. So that's my main motivation into real estate, into mainly apartments. And also, like I said earlier on, real estate retains the value. So even if it's whatever, not just any price, but if you invest in something, for example, into a vehicle, it will lose value, but with real estate, it will retain value, if not increase it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my main motivation.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And have you invested in the diaspora as well?
Yeah, real estate. So
still real estate?
Yeah.
Why there?
Again,
still the same?
Number one is credibility. So, and that's why when I started, I said, credibility is a major, obviously in the diaspora, to be able to invest into a property, there are certain steps and procedures which, have to be followed. There's always, there's a financial regulation system which ensures that you cannot be fleeced. So for me, you are safe. Your money is safe. Yeah.
Okay. I can see a few more comments are coming in. I can see Kevin is saying, what are the challenges you faced as an investor in Savo, and how are they handled?
Challenges. Well, in the beginning, there were a bit of delays in getting back to me, and so I was trying to communicate to you as well. So. Yeah, so a bit of challenges. For me, I like being consistent, and if I send communication, I expect to receive back communication. So for me, that was one of my main concerns. So I would tend to maybe make phone calls and stuff to push like request feedback or updates and stuff like that. So, but with time, obviously, you state your case, and obviously, you've met my expectation. Yeah.
Okay. And he's also asking, what advice would you give to those who want to invest with Savo but may have reservations?
It depends on what kinds of reservations you have. But based on my own experience, I would say Savo have a good credibility, integrity, but also, because I'm not investing with you and you're doing it by yourself, you still have to do so much yourself in pushing and doing your own transactions with Savo. It depends on the relationship you'll have, but I believe you'll be treated well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Please keep your comments coming. I can see people are live. I can see, sorry. I can see Amosh is saying, Martha, thanks for having Allan on the show. At least we can see and hear from the people who have invested with Savo. My question is, does Savo offer a payment plan that is favorable to all? Maybe what's your take on that?
I took a payment plan myself, which might not be the same, might not fit with everybody else, but I believe there are other payment plans as well. So maybe, yes, there are quite a few payment plans. Yeah, I think stretching to a few, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Yeah. So yeah.
So maybe just to expound on that, we try to make the project as affordable as possible. So our units run from 1 million to about 3 million, and we offer a very flexible payment plan of up to 5 years, interest-free. So you can pick a payment plan that works for you best. I think you picked a payment plan that clearly you did not think of the rest, but you can pick a payment plan that works for you, and of course now carry on the investment upon purchase. Yeah. So we try to make it very flexible. Of course, it might not be the 100%, flexibility to everyone, but we try to make it in a way that we can afford to build, but at the same time you can afford to start your investment journey. Yeah. I can see Isaac is saying following, learning a lot. Thank you so much, Isaac. If you have any questions, you could ask. So maybe as someone in the diaspora, I think we can't ignore the fact that COVID has been has had a very huge effect on our day-to-day lives. Yeah. And so how has that been? Considering you're investing here and COVID is still happening, and I think the diaspora has had major lockdowns, just even as compared to Kenya.
I think it all depends on your individual circumstances. So I can't really speak in general about everybody. I can only speak for myself. Yes. I've been able to dig deep myself and keep up with my payments. So, but like everyone is different. There are people who are going through tough times, and but at the same time, you can still find a way to invest or maybe keep up with your goals and objectives. For me, I believe, yes, COVID has been a setback, but I've still been able to just look beyond it and try to just keep up with my goals. Yeah.
Maybe what lessons would you share that you've learned from the pandemic? I think. What
lessons?
Yeah.
What in particular? What lessons?
What lessons in terms of investments? What would have been the ideal scenario, or if you hadn't invested, what would have been the dire scenario?
COVID has not been ideal. If COVID hadn't happened, for example, in my case, I'd have probably wanted to have another property with TSAVO, but it is what it is. I just, lessons. The lessons I think I may have learned from COVID is personally myself, I've had to. Sometimes it's difficult traveling when the pandemic has been on, especially at this time because of the lockdown. But for me, if there's any issues, especially with payments and anything along those lines, I can always make an arrangement to sort of maybe suspend a month, maybe pay twice for the following 2 months. So those are some of the challenges I've faced.
Yeah. And maybe what lessons have you learned from investing earlier?
Investing earlier?
Yes, before COVID.
Before COVID. Investing earlier before COVID, I would not have known COVID would happen.
No, but now that it happened,
obviously.
Did your prior investments, just sort you throughout the pandemic?
Of course, I have some other investments which have been able to back me up.
Yeah.
So I would say that is what has really assisted me in this time of COVID. So that is one of the lessons I would say that has really assisted me from investing earlier on before COVID. So that's provided me with that supplementary income to be able to
invest from. Okay, thank you so much. I can see Sarah, she's saying, struggling to hear you. Is there any way you can fix the volume? Sorry about that, Sarah. I can see Isaac is saying, thank you, Martha and Allan. A question. Some people think that there is a specific time to invest, maybe at a certain age, or when they reach a certain earning level. What advice would you give? Yeah.
It's always important to invest as you know, when you're young, you know. But it doesn't rule out, you know, if you're, I don't know what age is young, what age is old, but you can invest at whatever age. It's all about the means, being able to invest. If you can invest, I would say just go for it, because it's going to be beneficial in the end. It's going to be, trust me, it's going to be beneficial to you in the end. But if you can do it as early as you possibly can, I usually say, you know, whenever you're able, physically able, you have a nice profession, you can be able to pay for, invest. Do it whilst you can. Yeah.
And what are some of the disciplines, or just some of the habits you've learned during your investment journey?
Just rephrase that again.
What are some of the what are some of the habits you've learned or unlearned during your investment journey? What has kept you in the journey towards financial independence?
It's just seeing the end product, just being able to see, just having a vision. Just sometimes when I travel to Kenya, what I usually do, because I already said initially, is that my goal in investing into this apartment is because of this short stay lettings. I use them a lot, apartments. So I pay quite a substantial amount of money. I depend on them a lot, and I also research the market to see the demand. Right now in Kenya, there's still a demand. The demand is still there, and we're still in that COVID season. So obviously, people are the country. People are still struggling. Countries are still going through COVID, this COVID situation. So I can imagine, obviously, after this COVID is gone, the demand is going to go up because tourism is going to increase. So for me, I research, I stay in these short stay lettings, and that's what really educated me when it comes to investing and staying focused on my vision and my goal.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I can see a question on Facebook. Faith, thank you so much, Faith. She's asking, interesting discussion here. Allan, what were you seeking when looking for an investment, and did Savo deliver to your expectations?
So far so good, because I've been to Roysambu, Savo Royal Suburbs, which is along just near TRM. So I've been there, and the project is almost complete. Yes, it was due to be completed maybe, when was it? Last month?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's due to be completed in 2 months' time. So I usually, I make my own visits myself, just to be able to physically see what's going on. And the quality finishes of the project is quite high to my standards. So I would say that's really impressed me a lot. It's not just any kind of building. Yeah. So that's really impressed me. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Faith. I hope we've been able to answer that. I can see. Sorry. This is called Hydroponics Kenya. What percentage returns are you expecting upon completion of payment? Would you? Yes.
I don't think I can put that into actual. What I can say is I've looked at a return on investment, and I think, based on my own calculations, I think in a few years I'll have returned your investment.
Yeah. Maybe I can just give you a bit of feedback. Hydroponics Kenya. Maybe I can just give you a feedback on our investments. We promise our investors an 8% return on investment, being gross ROI. We try. Okay, of course, we balance between the cost of the unit against the return on investment. So how do we balance that out? We look for locations that have high demand for the kind of units that we do, because most of the people who buy with us buy for investment purposes. So where you would buy, then rent it out for monthly income. So if you're looking at monthly income, we need to have defined who are the people we are building for in terms of tenancy. What is the price that our investors would, look at as affordable? what is the return on investment in that location? So what are the kind of rents we're looking at in that location? So if you look at the locations we've picked, we look at locations that have high demand for those kind of units and have high return on investment in terms of, the rental income on a monthly basis. The average rental income is on the higher side. So maybe I can just give you a brief. We've done in Rongai, we've done Embakasi near East African School of Aviation, we've done Roysambu near TRM, we've done Timbigwa near Quickmart. Now we're doing Gong Road near Junction Mall. So we look at areas that are quite accessible. And if you look at our model, we do 1 bedrooms and studios, so smaller units where young people, we call them young aspirational urbanites. So straight from campus, in your first job, you're looking for a place that is quite decent and quite affordable. So that is our target tenant. Yeah. So we look for locations that fit those tenants. So by locations that fit those tenants, these people are there, or they can easily access, services and amenities in that location, and they can access their working points. So if you look at where we are, most people can either from your place go to town, or go there are working stations in the area that you are in, or there are a few campuses that that feed the people we are building for. Yeah, so that's our kind of model. Okay. Yes, yeah. But we promise our investors about 8%. And then now, based on the unit you have purchased, now we'll give you an expected rent, whatever we'll collect as expected rent. I hope I've been able to answer you. I can see she's asking, Alan, would you refer someone to invest with Savo? Considering your journey, the payment plans you talked about, and I'm interested to invest, but I don't want to lose my money. I want to be sure.
Yes, definitely. Yes, I would recommend you to invest with Savo. Based on my experience, everything has been the journey has been quite smooth. More like what I expected. Yeah.
Okay. I can see, Natalie, it would be nice to hear from someone in-house. Martha, in a nutshell, what is the purpose of Savo? So yes, thank you, Natalie, for that question. I don't know, you as a Savorite, do you know what is our purpose?
I think that's a question which should be your best place to answer.
Yeah. So we exist, and this you can find on all our social media handles, our website. So we exist to enable our investors achieve financial independence. That is we are passionate about financial independence. That's what drives us as Savo. And so anyone who comes along to invest with Savo, as we promise you the 8%, we promise you financial independence. And of course, financial independence will be gained over time. So it's not that you buy 1 unit and you get 8% return and then you get your, financial independence. Of course, over time, with disciplined actions towards your financial independence journey, we hope that we can take you through to financial independence. And so even as we talk of financial independence, what's financial independence to you?
That's a vague term. Mm-hmm. Financial independence for me is just being able to be self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. Not having something work for me rather than me being there all the time. Yeah. So for me, just being self-sufficient. Really.
Being self-sufficient. Yeah. Have you ever thought of your financial independence timeline? So have you given yourself a timeline of saying, by this age or by this number of years?
I would not like to reveal that. These are my own personal goals.
Yeah. So I think for us, even as we give education on financial independence, we just encourage you to give yourself a time frame. Yeah. Give yourself a realistic time frame to achieve financial independence, because it cannot be found in a year, unless otherwise. But unless
it can.
It's possible, yeah. But of course, if you're looking at just the proper disciplined investment process and looking at just the average income from a business or a corporate perspective, give yourself enough timelines to actually work towards financial independence. And I think the beauty about financial independence, last year maybe it could be that your financial independence number is $1 million a month. But 5 years down the line, your financial independence number could be 10 million a month. So financial independence, at the moment you're on the journey and you're actually, working towards your financial independence number, you tend to now even strike higher. So you want to start investing in 1 unit. 5 years down the line, you want to start investing in 10 units a year. So the financial independence number can change, but yeah, as an encouragement, give yourself a proper timeline to just enable you achieve it comfortably. Don't beat yourself too much. Yeah, even for us as Savo, I think we pray that we'll be in existence long enough to enable everyone who's joined the FIRE tribe to achieve financial independence. And that means it might take time. It might take time. I can see Talent saying, thank you, Martha. We are watching from Edinburgh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you have any more questions, please let them come in before we close the session of the day. Maybe my last question to you, Allan, would be, what next after financial independence?
What next after financial independence?
Yes.
I keep investing.
Uh-huh.
I keep going. Yeah, I keep investing. There's no stopping.
There's no stopping. There's no
So,
stopping.
Yeah. So, if I see a project which I'm attracted to and meets my expectations, again, integrity, and I just keep going.
Yeah. And how do you think we can, with the same passion? I think you're very clear with saying, investing never stops. Yeah. With the same passion, how do you trickle it down to the younger generation? How do you think this message can be passed on, even to our own tenants who live in our apartments and people who are aspiring to start investing? How can that, because there's a lot of sacrifice behind investing, yeah? So how do you think that can be trickled down?
It's all about discipline and having that individual drive, being able to see the benefits of something even before you invest, and just having that motivation. But most importantly, I would usually say you've got to be disciplined. You've got to have that consistency and be driven by your goals. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much. I can see David Kanye. He's saying, well done. Thank you so much, David. Please have your questions coming. So I can see Kilemi Isaac is saying, my target to be financially independent is by the time I am 40. So far, I am less than 10 years to 40. Guess my age, of course, Isaac. So yeah, and I think just giving yourself a proper timeline just gives you courage to, go ahead and say, actually, this is possible, yeah? I can see Kanye saying it's also important to balance your portfolio. Maybe you would want to expound on that, David. But yes,
Yeah, go on.
Yeah? You had something to say?
No. Just you finish up and then I'll say.
No. I'm just saying he's saying it's also important to balance your portfolio. Yeah. Do you have anything to say on that?
Well, you're right. You're right. It's important to balance your portfolio, but again, it depends on what are you able to do. If you're like you said earlier on, if you can get the 10 million, well, then go for it. For me, balancing comes in if you feel like the risks are high, but if you feel you can manage all these risks, then just go for it.
There's one of the ladies I met, I think about a year ago, and she said to her, financial independence is actually being content, knowing that what you have is enough. What's your thought on that?
For me, I will disagree with that because if you're content with what you have, you can never be motivated to pursue more, to push further.
Yeah.
So I think it's just more like sitting back. For me, I love to be driven. I love to be driven. I love to push harder, Yeah.
And maybe when you're saying of pushing harder, I think the balance is usually what is flowered outside as financial independence is having flashy things, So being deep into consumerism. So having a flashy car, having a very huge house, or living in a very good place. What's your take on consumerism?
Financial independence doesn't have to be a flashy car, a big house. It's just being able to make your life more. I think just being able to have a more comfortable life, able to cater for your needs as well as others sometimes, So for me, financial independence is more like it's not necessarily having flashy things. Yeah.
So how have you, guided yourself against consumerism?
To be specific?
Anything you'd feel like sharing.
You've got to have a taste in life as well. So I'm not gonna say I will avoid things. So whenever I have that extra, I'd love to, treat myself. So, but I think I class my things into priority and what is not priority.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. I can see Isaac is saying my financial independence number is 500K passive income. Yeah, I think having passive income is important because you don't have to be physically there to attend to your investments, which brings stress. So, say for example, if you're buying into something that you actually have to be physically there, then it becomes very active.
Yeah.
So instead of being your hustle, it actually becomes your main job. Yeah. So I think that's very inspiring. Just having an investment that does not require your physical presence or micromanaging the investment. Yeah. Selikim Chai, it's very critical to have a balanced investment portfolio as well. Yes. Yeah. I hope I've not been able to close anyone out. Yes, I think we have been able to tackle all the comments. Maybe you can just give a few words before we close the session.
I'm gonna say, guys, if you're still thinking of investing, you're taking too long. So yeah. Like my experience has been okay so far, so good. It's been okay. I would say I'm impressed. But then again, I will also remind you to do your own due diligence. Obviously, follow it up yourself. If you have relatives as well, just have someone follow things up for yourself. But my experience, again, I repeat, it's been okay so far. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much. I hope I've not been able to close anyone out. I can see Sam is still on fire. Thank you so much for everyone who's been able to join. If I haven't read your comments, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out on all our social media handles at savo.ke, our website as well at savo.ke. And thank you, Allan, for joining us today. I hope you've really enjoyed, and I hope everyone has been able to learn a few things. You have a few take-homes.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Yes.
I would have loved a glass of wine.
Oh. We're looking for financial independence. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.